conceptual perspective to things. People talk about a desire to be successful, all of the elements.
Good morning, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here. Dropping in on you briefly this morning to talk with you, hopefully inspire you, encourage you, and maybe equip you to take another step in your life towards something that is extremely important and valuable to you. Many times I have given you my definition of what I believe success means. And it is an adaptation to a definition I heard many years ago from Earl Nightingale. And simply put, success is the progressive pursuit of a worthy goal. In other words, if you are consistently moving towards a goal that you deem worthy of your attention, your time, and your effort, and you are making progress, then you are successful. The key element of success is progress. It's not any one particular milestone or benchmark or whatever, these 6-month goals, 1-year goals, 5-year goals, all that's great. It gives you something to aim for. But if you're striving towards something that is meaningful to you, something that matters to you, something that has an intrinsic value, and you're making progress, then you are successful. And so my thing is to inspire people to get up every day and make progress. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about this morning. But before I do, I want to remind you, we're still pushing and doing, we're already in. With those that signed up for the 30-day challenge for March, we're in. Some of you, we've already hit our first session together. Others, that it'll be done before the week is out. And we're moving forward. We're setting ourselves up to make some progress, to actually aim at something and hit it. And I'm excited about the people that I'm working with. I'm excited for them. I'm excited with them. I'm also excited because I'm actually participating in this 30-day challenge. That's something that I'm working on, and I'm watching it materialize right before my eyes, and we're just getting started. It's amazing how much the universe and God moves on your behalf when you open your mind to doing something that you've been closed to or that you've been distracted from, and you make an intentional decision that you're going forward, and you start to see providence take hold. You start to see the doors and the gates open up, and things happen. And I'm excited about that for my life because there's so much out there for me to still do. And again, my family depends on me to do and be. And so that's important to me. So again, if you are still interested in doing the 30-day challenge, we're signing up right now for April. But keep in mind that I'm only accepting 25 people. And from what I'm looking at and what we're looking at and the numbers we're crunching, if I do it again after April, it won't be 25 because it's simply not doable on a long-term basis. But I'll find a way to get something done. It may drop down to as few as 5, but hey, it's still going to be opportunities out there. Keep in mind, with this, you're going to get 4 sessions with me. An individual session with yours truly is $350. You're going to get 4 of them for less than $100. It's $99.95. Let's just keep it real. It's $100. But you get 1 for $350, but here you're going to get 4. You're going to get your own personal plan. You're going to get a DISC assessment, an evaluation of your personality to find your strengths and your weakness, to know the best way to attack your vision and your goal. We're going to do all of that. That's going to set you up. We're not just talking about saying, hey, for 30 days, I'm going to do this. We're talking about really preparing yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically to go out and go after something and be in the best possible position to achieve it. And so you're going to get that. And here's the thing. Everybody that enrolls will be entered into a drawing to win a platinum package, working with yours truly for a total of a year, 52 weeks. That's 52 sessions. You will be surprised what you can get done in those 52 sessions. So I'm encouraging you, if you want to see some immediate change, Join the 30-day challenge, and hopefully you'll get a chance to work with me on a long-term basis. For those of you who already know what you want and you want to work with me on a long-term basis, all of that is available. Look at the resources in the description box and make a move. The thing is on you. You're going to have to, at some point, make a move. Okay, that's out of the way. Now, we're talking about progress. As I said earlier at the beginning of this video, success to me is defined as a progressive pursuit of a worthy goal. It's that simple. When you find something in your life that's worthy of your time, your energy, your effort, and your focus, and you are going after it, and you can see the progress, no matter how slow, no matter how little at a time, if you can see the progress, you're successful. Now, there's always going to be ways that you can speed up the pace, speed up the rate of growth, take larger steps, and all of that stuff normally comes with a little more risk. But the thing is, you want to keep moving, and you don't want to become discouraged or deterred by the fact that you're not moving at the rate or the speed that you believe you should, or what other people might say is acceptable. The thing is, it's the little steps that nobody pays attention to. It's the consistency in the pursuit that ultimately ends up being the element and component that drives success. It's not the quantum leaps. It's not the big jumps. It's not all of a sudden I was here and then I was there. Those things happen because you build that momentum through those small steps that you consistently take every day that very few people even recognize you're doing. Sometimes you're wondering, what am I doing? But if you look back a year and you look at where you were a year ago and you look at where you are now and you have made progress and you have been successful. The thing is, life will tell you if you can't have it all right now, you're not winning. If you don't get it all in one chunk, you're not winning. If you can't get the whole kit and caboodle in once and everything be great all at one time, then you're not winning. And that's why so many people quit before they ever get started, is because the first week it didn't work. The first month I can't really see anything. I've been doing this for a couple of years and I really don't see. Man, do you know what a couple of years are in the grand scope of what your life is and what you need to be looking at investing in yourself to really truly ensure that you're going to have a life that you can be proud of when it's all said and done? You're counting weeks, and you should be counting and understanding that if everything goes as planned, you're going to be here for 80, 90, even 100 years. And that means investing 5 is not that big of a deal. You have to be aware of what's going on. And so one day, a long time ago, I'm sitting up and I'm frustrated, right? Because things aren't moving as fast as I want them to. It's almost like things are at a slow and steady pace. So I'm frustrated and I'm sitting there and I'm frustrated because I want things to happen fast. And while I'm sitting there in my frustration, a weird thing is happening. I'm subconsciously staring at the clock. Now, this is both symbolic and practical. Symbolically, the clock represents how I'm viewing time at that moment in my life. Time is passing, and I can't see the progress that I want to see in what I'm doing at a rate that I want to see it, and time is passing. So I'm looking at the clock and go, man, time is flying by, and nothing is changing. And then something happens. Then I start to look at the clock and realize something practical, that the clock is ticking a second at a time. Second are increments that very rarely do people even give any attention to. Most people aren't sitting up thinking about, man, that was 10 seconds. Man, that was 15 seconds. Very rarely are people giving any attention to the seconds that pass in their life. Some people aren't even paying attention to the minutes. It isn't until you get into hours that people get serious about how much time they're spending, how much time they're wasting, right? But I'm looking and I'm watching this clock and it's going tick, tick, tick. And each second is an increment of time that's passing. And what I realize is, wow, those little ticks in each in of themselves don't seem to be moving anything. If you sit up and you just wait, you'll see the hand move. The hand moved because it took 60 of those seconds to move it one notch. So I got 60 of those seconds to get one notch. And what I realized is If you pay attention to the micro movements of the clock, very little is happening. Why? That 1 second has very little meaning to most people. That 3 seconds has very little meaning to most people. Even 10 and 15 seconds have very little meaning to most people, unless you're a sprinter or somebody that's playing a sport and you understand that 10 seconds means little. But what happens? That 10 seconds turns to 15, 20, 30, until it gets to 60 seconds and it moves the hand. That's progress. So it popped into my mind. Stop looking for the quantum leap. Stop looking for the big move. Stop looking for where I'm going to jump from here to there. If you wake up every morning and you take that second by second step, little bitty steps that nobody even gives you credit for, the little steps that nobody pays attention to, the little steps that in your mind may not be doing that, what you're going to find is that when you look up a month from now, you will not be where you were today. Why? Because you're taking those little steps that don't seem like they're moving you anywhere, and that's how you progress. It's the thing. Take the steps. What will happen is when you are taking the steps, those little steps, every now and then there's going to be an opportunity that you take a leap. If you keep taking the little steps, every now and then you're going to get an opportunity to jump. You're taking the little steps, every now and then somebody's going to come along and say, hey man, I've got this thing that I think you'll be good at, and you're going to leap from here to that. That's how you do it. But if you're not taking the steps, you're going to find yourself stagnant and left in a position where no movement is taking place and there's no progress. The other thing is you can't quit. You can't get upset because those little steps aren't moving you as fast as you would like to be. You got to keep in mind, think about the clock. If the clock is working and that second hand is going click, click, click. It's progressing. Time is happening. What I realized in watching that clock is that I sit there for more than an hour and the second hand didn't have a whole lot of meaning. But I looked up, and because the second hand kept moving, I saw an hour and plus pass by. So the little thing that didn't seem significant is the catalyst behind the big thing happening. You've got to keep it moving. Wake up every morning and make up in your mind, I have something worth working for. I have something worth fighting for. I have something worth pushing for. I have something worth grinding for, and you get up and you do it. Second by second, you do it. You have 86,400 seconds in every day. How you spend each one of those seconds is going to determine how your life turns out. There is no casual time. Every second has meaning. Every second has purpose. What are you doing in those seconds? Are you reading and learning? Are you sharing and growing? Are you connecting and making relationships? Are you planning and plotting? Are you doing all of the things that are required for you to move to the next level? Are you prepared to be what it takes to move to the next level? Have you put the energy and effort into growing into what it is that you have to become in order to do the things you desire to do? That's how you get there. You can literally hammer on your craft and beat on your craft each and every day, a little at a time. If you work on something each and every day that you love, within 3 years to 5 years, you will be an expert at it. You will be the person that people will come to inquire about it. You have just established yourself as a person and an instrument of value in that particular field. You have now opened up the gateway for you to sit up and create a world for yourself because you invested. But you can't sit there and get there overnight. There's no quick fix. You're not going to automatically develop the expertise it requires to be the leader in your field. But if you get in it and you beat on your craft every day, if you read books on what you're passionate about and feel you're going to do as a living, if you're reading books, if you're writing, if you're taking courses, if you're studying, if you're practicing, if you're getting in, you're going to find out that in around about 3 years to 5 years, depending on how much you put in, you're going to realize that, man, very few people know as much about this as I do. And then you find your space and you open up and you pour out what you're giving, and you realize as you pour out, It has to come back because there's this law of reciprocity that says what you put out comes back. What you plant will harvest. And you just consistently grow yourself and establish yourself in something. But it begins with you waking up every day and taking the little steps. Many times people won't recognize what you're doing. Many times people won't see what it is that you're doing every day. Stop looking for that personal daily validation from others. Wake up every morning and know you're putting in the work. Know you're doing something. My goal every day is to grow in some way. I can't go to bed the same man that woke up. So what do? I establish times and places where I'm going to invest in me growing emotionally, in knowledge. So I spend time in meditation. I spend time in prayer. I spend time reading, spend time studying. I spend time creating and envisioning what the next move will be. I'm growing. I refuse not to grow. And so what happens is, no matter what you're facing in life, if you're growing, you're developing the capacity to overcome it. People are asked all the time, it never seems that you become frenetic or that you get unglued. It's because I've come to an understanding that there's nothing that I'm not built to take on. It doesn't mean that it's comfortable. It doesn't mean that it's easy. What it means is I'm built for it. I can't tell you how many times I faced down something that many thought would destroy me. And I got up and I went and looked in the mirror. And I told myself, you're built for this. Rick, you're built for this. And when I was saying it, I didn't know the answer yet. I didn't have the solution at the moment. But what I was telling myself is I was built for it, and that I would find the solution, and that I would have the capacity, and that I would overcome it, and that I would be better for it, and that I would be progressed and moved much further for it. So this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Instead of watching the clock thinking nothing's happened, be like the clock. Keep moving, and you will see that over time you are progressing. That's it for you. I'm getting out of here. Don't forget, join or enroll in the 30-day challenge, or get at me in another way if you want to work together. I'm looking forward to those that I'm already working with and those who will enroll. You guys have an unbelievable day. I'm up out of here. Oh, I almost forgot. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when it's time for me to leave this place, I die on E. I'm challenging you to do the same thing. Live every moment on full so that when you leave this place, there's nothing left. You've given it everything you've got. No unwasted, unused, untapped potential that you take to the grave. You don't want to take your potential to the grave. You want to expend it and activate it, actualize it right here on earth. That's why you have it. Go out and live it. On that note, I'm out.
Here I come, ready or not. Frank Ocean made this record hot.
From a conceptual
sounded better than Jay.
perspective, people talk
Real
about
talk,
it as
I ain't throwing
success.
shots. Careful who you leave clueless.